My internet better not fail me.
Hey, what's going on, y'all boy? Be live. What's going on, y'all boy?
Mm.
Friends.
Hold up, my thing freeze up, any?
Oh yeah, you think they freeze up? And we live.
Mmm.
Okay, you back. You back.
Okay. Tragic.
What's going on, y'all boy? We live. The little thing freezing up on us. But what's going on? Welcome to Geeky Sunday.
What going on? Hold on, let me get my thing right. Man, my little phone gonna be acting right, bro. I need to get me a
And come on in. The last show we had 11,000 people watching, so we want to get at least to 20. We need 20,000 people watching this time. But y'all boy, come on in. Welcome to Geeky Sunday. So episode 2 are going on, y'all boy. I see y'all coming in. So for this
all
one,
right.
we finna bring in this person. She got one of the number one Airbnb in the world now, not in the city, in the world, the Airbnb experience. If y'all ain't
Nice.
know who he is, crabbing with Tia. If y'all ain't never been out there crabbing, listen, y'all boys. She the one that y'all need to go rock with. You wanna know how to crab? Listen, crabbing with Tia is the one that y'all need to hit up. And she done took us out there and she done show us the ropes, but we can save that. We can bring her on in and she can tell y'all boy all about crabbing and just how it transform her whole life. We eat crab like almost every day down here. Even though Corona down here, Starving Marvin be packed out. Them lines be out the door. Y'all ain't care about no Corona. Y'all still be out there. So not
Right,
only do we
right.
eat the crab, but it also can be therapeutic. But I can get off the mic. We gonna bring crabbing with Tia on. She gonna show y'all boy, share her story all about how crabbing was her therapy.
Facts. Here he is, right, y'all.
Tia,
Oh,
Tia.
what up? What's up, y'all?
what's going
Yeah,
on?
How we doing?
chilling. We glad now that you here.
Yeah,
Ready
it's
to
good
talk
to see
about
you.
some crabs. I know I wish I had some crab right now.
Hey, I know I don't even have any crab right now. Hey,
Dang.
y'all on Taste the Nation, y'all did that thing. Y'all did that.
I wish I had some of them crab off of tasting this,
Hey,
Listen, shout out to BG and all them boy that been in there with us.
when that
That
episode
thing was
came
on
out,
point.
one of my friends said, "Hey Tia, how Patman just put her hand in there and picked that crab up like that?" I said, "Man, they must have already put them crabs to sleep for her. Did you see that?"
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
I was waiting for it. She was cold. She just put her hand right in there and picked those crabs up. I wouldn't even do
The
that.
pro, cause see, I ain't on that level yet, y'all boy. The crab and Charleston feisty. Like they
Yeah.
ain't playing that.
Mm, mm. That's how they do them. They get to running.
Y'all trip.
Listen, before we even get involved, I want to encourage everybody to go ahead and throw some questions in there real quick that y'all might have about crabbing. If y'all already know Tia Clock, just throw some questions out there, man. Related to the topic. And we'll come back to them and we'll see what Tia can deliver to the family.
Crabbing. Y'all be asking us, hey, what bait to use, what to do this. Look, yeah, I just start crabbing with Tia last year, so I ain't know. But if y'all want to know, that's the person that
Hey,
asks.
you do know, y'all saw that video of you doing them pancakes. You know exactly what to do now.
Okay.
You a pro now. I know. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
So Tia, real quick, tell us how you got into crabbing. Like tell us how you got into it.
All right, yeah. Well, I'm a Charleston native, born and raised from here, downtown, Romney Village. Went to James Simmons, Rivers, and Burke. But I just crabbed for the first time a few years ago, actually. I never grew up crabbing or anything. I smoked cigarettes for 20 years and thought I was going to quit smoking cigarettes. In 2016, I was like, this is my time. I got this. I quit smoking in September, and then by November, I was like in really bad health, really bad health. I almost want to die. Like, sounds that it was that serious. Like, I was just at a real bad down point. I honestly look back and think it was one of the lowest points I ever had kind of in my life. And for me, I thought I was doing something good by quitting smoking. You think
Right.
I'm about to quit smoking, I'm gonna be good, I'm getting my health together, and then a couple months later, your health goes downhill. So that led me to a holistic PA that changed my diet. And then that led me to the doc because we had a family wedding, and my cousin Niti, my cousin Demetrius, saw me because when I started on that elimination diet that the PA put me on, I started shrinking. You know, I also I weighed the most. Like, my health was out of control when I kind of was in this whole health when I got into this position. It really was
Right.
out of control. control. I wore in weight wise, it was the most that I weighed ever in my entire life. My waist, my pant size was almost 50 inches. It was 48 is what my pant size was. And then I started shrinking just by changing my diet. And my cousin was like, come go crabbing with me because I needed to find a way to get active. And that really was a wrap. Like, Michi took me out one day, taught me how to throw the cast net. We started catching shrimp. We started catching big old blues. Honestly, I couldn't even believe I was in Charleston. Like, it was like when we were doing all that stuff, like I was swept away. Like, you talk about a kid in a candy store, I felt like I was like 10. Like, I couldn't like run to them baskets fast enough. Or, I always say with cast net, you always say, all right, this is my last cast. But when you say that, that means you got 20 more minutes to go. But it's never really your last cast. Michi kind of like, really just kind of, he took me to the water. That's why I always tell people, he took me to the water and it just opened up so much in my life. I mean, absolutely so much. I was in the food and beverage industry for almost 19 years. And I was honestly just telling one of my guests this the other day because I try to tell people like the mental state that I was in. You're in food and beverage for that long, you kind of get worn down with humans, with being in the bar every night. It just kind of weighs on you a little bit. Um, but when I started crabbing, it was like lights out. I mean, just lights out. I always tell people like, you see them commercials of people getting up in the morning, people get up and they're like, oh, it's going to be the best day. And I used to always be like, people don't get up feeling like that in the morning, like nobody really feel like that. And then I started feeling like that getting up in the morning. Crabbing really just opened my eyes. Everything that I thought that I knew about life or everything I was telling myself about life, you just make things up in your mind like this is the way things are going to be. All of it was wrong. And I didn't know any of that until I started crabbing and sharing crabbing. When I first started doing it, I wanted to keep it all to myself because food and beverage, I don't want to bring people out here, like people will ruin it. I wanted to keep it all to myself. And then my buddy wore me down and I took his family out and really it was just opposite of everything that I thought. Like we tend to think all of the negative things about situations before we kind of get into them and kind of plan forward. And so for me, I was like, well, I don't want to take these people crabbing. We ain't gonna catch no crabs, or what if we don't do this and we don't do that? And I go out there and the opposite of every single thing happens. And quite honestly, it was really more exciting for me to watch other people do it, even though I kind of just started doing it a few months later. But it wasn't like I was getting tired of it, but boy, the zest of watching other people catch a crab for the first time is like lights out. It really is lights out.
So you do this full time to you?
I do now. I do it now full time. I didn't think I was going to do it full time. I never started this as a business. This all started as a health journey. Me quitting smoking, getting my health back in order. That's what this all was about. And I wouldn't say that. I will say that I didn't really believe in myself at the beginning. So much so that I didn't come up with the name of my business. One of my fishing buddies did that. I didn't really type up my experience page on Facebook. My wife did that. Like every time somebody would tell me, hey, this might be a thing, I would just be like, there's no way that this is a thing. Like there's no way. So much that like when Katie got through typing up my experience page, I said to her, nobody wants to go crabbing with me, just submit it. And so July 2018, I hosted my first Airbnb experience. And then by November, Airbnb was flying me out to San Francisco.
Oh man.
Then magical things were happening in my life. I feel like everything that's happened in my life really since I went out to San Francisco, to me, it feels like it's the way that life does not happen. So it's really, let's just say I'm very vulnerable, even though I'm really kind of committed in this right now. And I still just feel like it's too good to be true type of thing. Life just don't go like that. Like you go crabbing and then instantly everybody in the world wants to crab with you. Like, no, like I'm like, that. What's about to happen really? Like they gonna come and say, no, you can't do that.
So this thing started blowing up like immediately for you, like as soon as you started this thing?
It
Wow.
really did. It really did. Because between July and November, I mean, I had only taken out maybe like 40 or 50 people crabbing, you know? So for me, when Airbnb sent me out there, I mean, I never even stayed in an Airbnb before. Like, I didn't understand the way that the platform worked. It was like, it's complete Cinderella story. Like, I came back, there's all these articles, they're trending on Google, you know, like stuff, like crazy stuff. Like, I go into work to serve drinks and people are showing me their phones with the Google bar and a picture of me holding the crab under it. And I'm just smiling, like, all right, what you want to drink, man? I got you right here. Vodka soda. Like, I got to work, you know? So to me, still always just was like never going to really be anything. And then I was really proven wrong by all of that. We got to, me and by the way, Art says, what's up? Art says to tell y'all
What's
what's
up, Art?
he said, make sure to tell y'all what's up. And I was gonna say, honestly, Art's helped me. You know, we've grown this thing so much, man. I hired Art on, and we had like 40 some 5-star reviews, and now we have over 320 just from going out crabbing with people every day. And
Man,
now it's our goal. This is what we want to do every day. This is what I want to do. I want to take everybody crabbing.
that's the
Every,
dream, boy.
So
I
would you
can't, I
say
can't
like,
lie.
would you say crabbing like saved your life?
it absolutely saved my life. Like without a doubt, crabbing saved my life. Changing my diet definitely got me on path. But when I started going to that water, man, it was crazy. Like after the first time my cousin took me crabbing, I went crabbing every day after that. Like every day. To where like
Yes.
I mean, like a crazy person, you know? Like I always tell people, I'm like, I felt like something in my brain flipped, you know, like some chemical imbalance flipped to where instantly every day after going out that first time with my cousin, every day I had to drive myself to the water. I don't care if it was I got off the bar at 2 o'clock. Sometimes I just swing by Cosgrove on the way coming home at 2:30 in the morning, just go by the water. Sometimes I put a rod in. Sometimes I'm just standing next to the water. Other times I go to sleep, and then before I go to work, I go drive by the water. I didn't understand why, not even crabbing, it's not even like I had to go to the water to crab, but it started being to where if I just went to this water for 15 or 20 minutes a day, my whole day
Hmm.
was totally different, you know? And I just found so much power in that. Like it was the one place that I could go release. You know, you guys have been crabbing with me. When I go crabbing, we are busy. We are moving, and there is there's a lot of stuff to do because I turned outside and I turned crabbing into my gym, and that's how I was like losing all this weight, throwing 7 foot cast nets for 2 hours a day, catching all this stuff, and then throwing it back in the water, and then going to the bar and serving drinks. You know, it's
Yep.
not always necessarily about even taking stuff out of the water. You know. It's just about that experience. I've learned so much about myself, and a lot of other people have learned stuff about themselves by that water. You know, Chris,
Right.
you're the
Right.
example.
Well, I know it. I know it, man. Ever since we've been crabbing with you, I've been crabbing every single day.
I love it. I'm like, you are the example right there of what happened, and I love that because I
Love me
love
some crab, boy.
because that's what happened to me. You know, when I went to that water, like I remember taking you out there and you catching that crab, and you just put that big smile on your face, and you just like I knew it, like you were done. You were like, you can do this,
Yeah.
like here, like every day, I could just go catch my own crabs.
Mm.
Like
That been yes. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I know it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Food.
I love it. I love to see you doing it. I love to get all the feedback from all the other people that I take crabbing. I never did crabbing was going to be therapeutic, you know. Um,
So till people don't get on you, they don't get on you and say, "Oh, you giving all the crab spot away and
man,
messing everything up."
let me tell you something. We in the crab world, just like I didn't tell you. There's more crab than people here, brother, for sure. On average, the ladies, and a lot of people don't know about crabs, but on average, females release up to 2 million eggs. Less than half of them make it. Yeah, I see your face, but
Wow.
it's 2 million eggs now at a time. One
Oh
female,
wow.
you know, and they've
Explain that. You say at a time now. Explain that now. You're saying they can have up to 2 million crab at a time. What do you mean?
eggs. So, you can't keep pregnant female crabs. So, a lot of people, if you ever see a crab and it looks like it's got this orange mass kind of like on its underbelly, that's a pregnant female, and you need to put her back in the water for
Yeah.
sure, instantly. And that mass, they actually brood, which means like chickens do, they sit on that mass for 2 weeks before they release it, but they release about 2 million eggs during every reproduction.
Wow.
I know.
That sounds like plenty of crab to me.
Yeah, but crabs still they only live 1 to 3 years because we are their biggest predator. We are our bellies. Art always says he is personally, because that boy can take down some crab. And I know you too, Chris. I see that face. You in there too.
Get the crab out, boy. Shit, boy.
I know
Get
you
the
do.
crab out, boy.
Yeah, so I mean, absolutely therapeutic for me. It's that's my everything now. That's my office, that's my church, when I'm happy, when I'm sad, even if I'm having a rough time, sometimes going to work for 2.5 hours, me and Art will look at each other and I'm like, so glad we got to work today. Like it
I,
is so powerful in my life.
I know you do a lot when you go out there and teach everybody how to crab. You ever had any people like freak out and get pinched? I
Oh,
always wonder that now. I see the
oh
pictures, I feel like I might get pinched today.
listen, everybody gonna get pinched at some point in time. Consider it an initiation. Once you do that, you in the club.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, people don't get pinched that much. But the ones that do are really hilarious. And because they ain't really getting pinched, crabs have a lot of spikes along the outside of their shell, which are
Mhm.
actual teeth, but they're very sharp. And so when people, if they're already nervous and you go to pick a crab up and you feel that little poke or a little stab, they instantly think they're murdered. They think they're dead half of the time. They think
Oh,
they're killed by getting one little poke in your finger, man.
you scream loud now. I ain't gonna lie, I scream loud.
One of our
Shit.
funniest ones
Oh, you
was a
ain't.
truck driver. We had a big old truck driver, big dude out there. The crab didn't have any claws, and he got one of those little spikes in his hand. He almost threw that crab straight up in the air. I was running under it like a football trying to catch him. Grown up.
Grown man.
Yep,
Scared out.
acting up.
You ever had you took out crabbing?
What's that?
What's the youngest you ever took out crabbing? Like what age?
Oh man, somebody brought a newborn baby. Their family came, but the baby was, I mean, the baby didn't crab, but she definitely had a baby strapped to her chest. Um, yeah, I mean, I've had 2 year olds all the way up to like a 79, 80 year old. We also had a guy in a wheelchair that we got to teach how to grow the cast net, which was awesome. But I get to work with a lot of kids, and we also got to take the wonderful Ms. Venus Williams crabbing as well down at Brittle Bank Park.
I think that was dope.
It was pretty dope. It
You
really.
had did you like was you shocked? Like when they booked it, you been like, nah, y'all playing with me. Serena Williams ain't booked no experience.
I actually did because it was April. Like they booked like a couple of days after April Fool's Day, and so when the guy called the book, I asked him if he was trying to play an April Fool's joke on me. I didn't believe it. I don't trust, so I'm like, I didn't believe it. But when she was walking out on the dock, is really honestly when I believed it. Was we had to kind of keep it secret for a few days, and when she came out there, I was just really shocked. But you talk about a cool class act, solid, down to earth person, like you wouldn't even. I mean, you wouldn't even know it was Venus Williams if it wasn't clearly Venus Williams.
Right, right. Dang, that's crazy, boy.
Yeah, I know from
Celebrities coming out here to learn how to crab. Celebrities now.
I know that's what I'm saying from crabbing. Like I'm still shocked repeatedly after all these things that happen. I just get shocked because I mean, part of me thinks, all right, it's just crabbing, but after I've seen like what it's done for other people, I know that it's definitely more than that. The feedback I get from some of my guests is just sometimes it tears me up, like because I think I'm just taking these people from Ohio or Missouri crabbing, and then we go crab, and then I go home, and when I get home, this long review comes out about what these 2.5 hours were for these people. I get home and they're like, "How's your day?" I'm like, "Oh, it was good. I met, Susan and whoever, and we went crabbing, and it was fine." And then I sit down to eat, and then it's like Susan writing this whole thing about best experience her family's ever had. They ain't never been outside like that. They never caught their own food before. Like, there's a lot of power in that catching and preparing your own food. Like I had never done that before. I went crabbing that first time, and I was like, it was so powerful. Like I can't believe I can catch my own. I didn't know that I was that much of a hunter gatherer. I'll just say that. After I went crabbing, I was like, this is all I want to do. Go out, catch food, and feed people. Because in our culture, feeding people, that's love right there. Like you go to your family house, like that is
Right
love.
you down, yeah. For
Tell
some
me,
crab, you in there.
dude,
You in there good.
tell me you
Cause
can't
we
ride.
gonna stay out of crab unless we like you.
Hey,
That's
but
just
tell me you can't go to a family house and they give you a plate. You ain't seen them in so long and you go make yourself a plate. Tell me that ain't love right there.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I got crab, y'all boy, and that's real love when you say you got crab.
That's trouble right there. You better bring enough. I wouldn't really
Mhm.
announce that I got no crab. I just show up, put it down, first come, first serve. I got a big family.
So would you trade what you're doing now for commercial crabbing since you like crabbing so much?
No, 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 no,
Would
not
do
at
it?
all. Not at all. I don't want to be a commercial crabber. I
Why
like
not?
because it's different. You know what I mean? Commercial crabbing, you're just catching crabs. You're giving them to restaurants or something. There's a little more. It's a little more involved. I guess it's a little more intimate what I do. Like really getting to take people one on one. When I first started crabbing, like I said, I was nervous about it, but now it's really like developed into this thing. And I feel like when people come here being a native, that I'm like taking them on a ride. As soon as they get here, I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna put you right in there. I don't care if you're nervous or scared. You catch that crab, you picking it up, hands shaking and all. I don't care if you like
I
this.
did.
Crab,
That picture we took, you had that crab in my hand.
yes, you did.
You've been
I'm picking it
terrified.
up. I've been scared. I'm like, I don't want that crab to pinch me.
But I mean, you got to think. I have people that come out there sometimes, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna book this for my son and my daughter. My son's gonna be into it. My daughter, I'm not. She's probably not at all." And we get out there, and the daughter is like way more into it than the son. Like whatever somebody thinks about what's gonna happen when they get out there, it really shakes them up. And I kind of like it now. I mean, at first I didn't understand. I'm thankful for all the people around me that saw what I was doing and saw that there was potential in it. But now I really feel like I get it. Like where else? Tell me another like really pure thing that you can like go visit somewhere and then instantly feel like you're in the culture, you a local, you a native, you a regular. They out there talking about rusty jimmies and stuff only we know about,
Hmm.
like screaming, holding them pro hold on the crab. People never even seen crabs before.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I love it. But now I also feel like it's my job and my duty to kind of educate people on it.
Speaking of education, my favorite part was when you was educating us on the life cycle of a crab,
Oh yeah. Oh
how
yeah.
they mate and how they molt and everything like that.
That's right. That's
Very.
a lot of people don't know that, like a lot of people like to eat soft shell crabs. Soft shell crabs are delicious. You take the whole thing, fry it up. But I'm telling you, the shock on people's face when I tell them that a soft shell crab is a blue crab, just growing, like they're in the growing process of growing, they freak out. They're like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's that blue crab just popping out there to grow." And you're like, "Ooh, there's a sandwich." Just snatch them right up.
So how that stage come about? Like what's the life cycle like? If you can help them boy understand a little TT.
Well, crabs live to be about 1 to 3 years max because of us. Like I said, the biggest predator. But crabs do not grow in their shell. So you don't get a crab that's just born in the shell and then the crab just grows, grows, grows. The back two legs are called swimmers and it just cracks open and the exoskeleton soft shell crab pops out of that. And when it pops out, it's over 30% bigger than it is when it was inside the shell. And younger crabs will molt more frequently than older crabs. Um, Crabs lose their limbs. A good example there. Sometimes you'll catch a crab and he's only got one claw. And people sometimes feel bad for the crab, but crabs actually grow their limbs back. They'll grow their claws back. They'll grow their legs back. They'll all grow back. It'll be soft shell when it grows back, but they'll grow all those things back. And during their lifespan, people always ask me, how long does it take them to grow their limbs back? And that's usually when I tell them that, it's really hard to put an exact time, but it's 3 successive molts. But younger ones molt more frequently than older ones do. But their lifespan is 1 to 3 years. They can get real, real big
Yeah.
a little bit of time.
Them big
Mhm.
old rusty crab. How they get rusty? That's how you know they meet the 3 year mark.
Listen, I wish, right? That don't always mean that, but that rusty means that they've been burrowing down in that pluff mud and really kind of hiding away from dangers and eating. One thing for sure, I'll tell you, when you get that rusty, they are noticeably different and heavier than the ones that are just bright blue and white, and it's just full of meat. When you see them rusty, you want to hang on to that. They're full of meat, loaded down.
That's why them rusty be all a $30 for 12 in it.
That's right, you know it. Because it's full of meat, you can take two of them to get yourself a nice crab cake.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Y'all boy making me want some crab. Oh
Always
man.
want some crab
So
though.
would
Come
you
on.
would you say like you picked up crabbing and it helped you get out of like your depression, the state you was in? You know, like in our community, going to therapy and stuff, it still got like a stigma to it. Where do you think if people start incorporating like the culture of it, like how you took up crabbing, you think like more people will jump into therapy if they can see like their culture reflecting of that, like, hey, instead of you sitting down in my office talking about, you know, what you're going through, let me take you out on this dock and we can have a conversation.
That's so funny that you just said that. We were literally just talking about that like an hour ago, me and my wife were, because we were thinking about how powerful crabbing could actually be in therapy. People open up in a short period of time. There's something about being next to that water, you know? Like when I started crabbing, we'll say changing my diet, crabbing, and then going to therapy myself is what helped me through all that. And the therapy that I was going to, the counselor that I found, she was awesome. And this was before I really started crabbing real hard. But our sessions we would have just sitting on the beach. We would sit on the beach and we would talk. And before we had those sessions, we were sitting in the office, and I found myself to be a little more closed off. But when we got next to that water, I was kind of just open out. It's just like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like the water is still fluid. You're there, the wind's blowing. You just aren't really as guarded or really hold things in as much. I definitely think crabbing could be a great way to get people into therapy and counseling. Um, and it can be a great tool in therapy and counseling. It really can. I mean, you can. I use it as team building. I do corporate groups. I've done summer camps. I've done work with nonprofits. Like I'm shocked at all the different things that the different ways that people have asked me to use crabbing. Because when I first started, I thought I would just be on the dock taking random people crabbing, but there's so many different things that we can do and use in the ways that I've seen it really change people. I absolutely believe that it can be used as some type of therapy.
Wow.
By that water, cause like you right, like that water, it gives you like a different feel. It puts you in a different like mindset. Even though I cannot swim, but I love like being in some water.
Just to be
Can't
next.
swim at all now, but I love some water. I had to learn how to swim,
That,
y'all boy. That's on my list.
Hey, you got this. We about to go out. Hey, we about to go out, Mr. Fuss. We going
I'm
out.
ready, boy. I'm
Out.
ready.
I just got a new custom rod. We gonna go out. We gonna catch some fish. We gonna get you on that water. We gonna.
Yes.
It's gonna be nice. This right here gonna turn you out though, Chris. We might not see you no more after
I'm
this.
about to say I might just get on that boat and stay on them. You know how the boy be living on the boat?
No,
Just
For
like one of
real.
the days.
don't do that. We need you.
Living on the boat. Let me see if some people got some. Let me see if some people got some questions in here. Cool. You see some questions? Ain't no.
Yeah, let me scroll back
They
up
just
to
all
the
showing love.
top.
There's art throwing love. That's good.
Hey, look. Let me show you. Let me show you my boy right here. Little art. You know what I mean? All right.
Oh,
Look at art.
there he is. Look at that
Oh
stash.
yeah, because look what been asking. Y'all boy want to know book Tia? Go to her website. She still take y'all boy out there how to
That's
crab.
right.
Don't worry, she gonna let you get pinch up. Make sure y'all go to her website.
That's right. We are wide open, so hit us up. Most of my bookings, I have casual crabbing with Tia, but most of my bookings, sometimes I get through Airbnb experiences, and it's called Let's Go Crabbing through there. But that platform, excuse me, is still paused because of COVID. So I'm doing all my own booking myself. So if anybody's interested in crabbing, fishing, on the cast net, just hit me up. Casual Crabbing with Tia, yahoo.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Tell your mama, tell your cousin.
Tell your mama, granny, autumn boy.
Tell all
Hey,
of them. Come on.
I got a question right here, and I notice whenever people ask this question, a lot of the crabbers get real slow to answer this. And it's from Miss Ethel Hall. They said, "Where y'all boy go crabbing at?"
That is a good question, Mr. Evans. I tell you what, if you in Charleston, any public dock, and they there. You can go to Brittle Bank, you can go to Northbridge, you can go to Sunset. Any public dock that we got, there's crabs there. And if you ain't catching them, it's probably your bait or the tides. Gotta look in the tides.
So
What do
when
you use?
it best
Okay.
to go when the tide coming in or going.
Oh, both of them. Both of them. I like to hit them when they falling and when they coming in. It really don't even matter to me. Akua, you asked about bait, chicken. Pro tip: crabs like chicken. Everybody needs to know that the crab like everybody like chicken. But
Right. Do you
Pro
season the
tip.
chicken first or just plain chicken?
Yeah, just raw chicken. When I first started crabbing, everybody told me to go get chicken necks, or they told me to just make my chicken all rotten. I did all that stuff, and I didn't
It
catch
don't
a.
work.
So I just use fresh old raw chicken, nice fresh though, not rotten, right out of the pack. Art always says that we in Charleston and the crabs bougie, so you got to have that fresh chicken. They don't like. They don't,
Throw a little old bay seasoning on there, so the crack can pop out.
Yeah, somebody told me to put some garlic powder and some old bean thing on them.
oh, you gonna season the chicken up for the crab too? Y'all
Listen,
might as well fry them up for him. You gonna season them too?
listen. I
I'm
done tried
serious.
that job before,
Hey,
and
I've
that
been
job
out
did
there.
not work.
I've been out there, and the dude had some cooked chicken, and I was like, man, they cooked the chicken for the crab. Like that's some fancy stuff. I ain't cooking the
I
chicken.
think the boy love crab. We're gonna cook for you, crab. We love you.
Hey, but akua, not just chicken, fish. So I try to use every bit of everything that I can get. We'll use our chicken, and then when we're done for the day, we'll take that and put it in the commercial trap. So that way, we're using all of that chicken and not wasting it. And then when I go fishing, I clean the fish, and then I take the fish carcass, and you can crab with that as well. They like really oily, fatty stuff. Eat it. Yeah.
So the myths about seasoning your different type of baits ain't gonna work.
I mean, you can season them if you want, you know. Hey, you know what? When I went to y'all crab crack, though, I wish I could remember the young lady's name that we met. I think she was from the Bahamas. Doctor, what's her name? From the Bahamas. She was at the crab crack.
You talking about Dr. Kendra Cooper?
That's right, Dr. Cooper. She said that there they catch land crabs, and in the Bahamas they catch these crabs, and then they put them in a pen for a week, and then they feed them like lemongrass, and they feed them all these herbs to kind of like clean their system out. And it's almost like season them from the inside.
And they crab not aggressive over there, but they crab real big, which I thought was weird because they crab real big, but they not aggressive, and our crab small, and but they like hella aggressive.
So many crabs, I want to go catch them all. I'll go catch them and catch them up. I
Yeah,
want them all.
back on. So I got another question right here for you because I also want to know this as well. 'Cause I've been experimenting with them from Miss Shannon Carroll. What's your favorite trap to use?
Oh, all right, yeah, man, that's easy. Hand lines or two ring wire mesh baskets. Now, it is important to say the wire mesh baskets, they cost a little more, but when you get those string and rope baskets, like I said, crabs have a lot of teeth along the outside of the carapace, along with that shell. And when you get those string or rope baskets, you're going to spend more time untangling that crab than you are going to be crabbing. Every crab you get, you're going to have to fight it out of there. They're going to be tangled into that string. When you get the wire mesh ones, you can catch more than one in it. And I mean, I just scoop them up, knock them right out of the basket, put it right back in the water. And
That's a wrap. That don't sound so good. I can picture it in my head. Man, I can picture it in my head, man.
man, because you know where we are, it's hot. I don't want to be standing out there not catching no crabs or just fighting
Right.
crabs the whole
Wait,
time.
And that can make you mad, especially with Charleston heat.
I know. I know.
All right, I got another one right here from King Simon. So what fish do you use for bait? So is there like a specific fish that you use for bait?
No, I mean, pretty much I'll use the carcass of anything that I catch, you know. If we're inshore, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter what kind of fish I get. I'm going to test out the carcass and I'm going to see. They like really oily, fatty stuff. Any fish that I catch, you get it, redfish, trout, whatever. I'm going to use it and I'm going to put that carcass in there. Sometimes I save some of the head meat and I'll chop that off and just put that on a hand line as well. I like to experiment with a lot of things. You know, when I first started crabbing, and just like anything else, when you start doing something, everybody's gonna say, "Hey, you know what you should do? Hey, you know what you should do? You
Right.
know what you shouldn't do?" Well, they always tell you can't catch crabs after rain. I always tell people the crabs don't care; they already wet. That ain't always true. The truth is that if you get like a downpour or a flood, it pushes in a bunch of fresh water that changes the salinity of the water. You need to have brackish water, which is a little bit of salt and a little bit of fresh. The females really thrive in high salinity water, so you'll catch them really kind of closer to the beach. The saltier the water gets, there'll be a lot of big girls there. The guys actually, they can thrive in water that doesn't have really high salinity. So usually after a rain, I'll end up catching dudes more than I do catch girls because the fresh water changes the salinity and makes it
Got
less
you.
salty. See, I know it's
Wow.
yeah, I know it's wild, isn't it? Who would have thunk it? There's so much. It really
Hey,
is.
I got a question for you that my Caribbean friends, especially the ones from Trinidad, they stay laughing at us, and they don't eat our crab because they say our crab dirty. They be
I
like,
know
we get them out the water, out the ocean, and we throw them straight in the pot, but don't boy clean them off. So
that.
is there really like, do you know why? I guess I don't know if that's just us Gullah Geechee down here, but I see like Caribbean people how they prepare their crab, like they clean them off, they take all the dead men out, but down here we pretty much straight from the ocean to the
You
pot.
catch them right from the water and put them in the pot. I think it's just cultural. It's just the area that you're in, and kind of like what you're used to. Like that's how we grew up eating crabs here. I try to tell people, I have to remind myself that the people that I take crabbing probably have never seen a crab before. They never cooked a crab before. So I've started actually kind of cleaning it up for them because at first they would go home, cook the crabs, and then they send me a message and they say, oh, we took the shell off and then we started eating those spongy things. And I'm like, oh, no, you ate the damn man. Like, don't eat that. Like, but here, that's how we used to do it. Like we put them in the pot here. A lot of people that didn't grow up eating crabs like we did all the time, they don't like having to pick through their organs in order to get to the meat. That's why they like cleaning them like that. But also, I don't know with that Caribbean stuff. The first time I heard about that was from Dr. Cooper at your crab crack, and I was really intrigued by that. But I just thought that's gonna be hard for me to go catch these crabs and then wait a week to eat them. Like
Right, and looking at them. Okay.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I ain't built like that. It's like
You should go to the Caribbean restaurant. It's called the Trinidad restaurant. Like her children young, but they do that. Like they from Trinidad and they'll catch their crab, leave them in there for like a week, clean them off.
yeah,
But
that's a lot.
same concepts. I guess that must just be like a Caribbean thing how they prepare their crab.
But
But that
those
was
are
real
different kind of
interesting too, because
crabs
I
too,
didn't
though.
know that. Like I thought everybody ate their crab the same way we do. Like you catch them and you throw them in the pot.
I know that's what we thought, but they don't. Up north, they steam them. Like up north, people from Maryland and all them, they don't do boils like low country boils like us. Everybody up north is usually steaming.
Yo, you right? Cause when we been on the we come on the crab crack, and they've been asking about hammers and stuff. Remember that, Chris?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Like
know
he been
what you
asking
talking
about
about.
a
No
hammer, and
hammer.
I'm like, I don't think we gonna have a hammer at the crab crack. You gonna have to crack them thing with your hand.
Stop
I
by Harbor Freight and go get your little mallet, homeboy, because we ain't got no hammer for you.
I
I tell you.
I don't understand that because a lot of people always say, "Oh, crabs." They'll be like, "No, that's a lot of work for a little bit of meat." And then I think, well, if you take in a mallet and you smashing the shell into the
Let me mash up.
then yeah, you're gonna have to spend time picking all those tiny little pieces of shell out there, so it's gonna be real time consuming. But we know better than that. I also tell people, I'm like, in my family, I had a big family, and I don't. I wish I really could have more of this memory, but I just know and I remember until you were a certain age, you weren't even getting to the table to pick the crab because you just gonna waste the crab. And I just
Right,
have
you get a hot dog.
I got this memory of being a baby just standing there waiting while somebody picking it and they just put the crab in your mouth, like,
Yeah.
hey, you get your turn.
What
I
you doing, boy? Let me tell you all the meat at in the crowd. Let me tell you all the meat at when I be busting them down. The swimmer. When you That's that bunky meat. When you
yeah.
like that bunky and bust them to the side, hey, look into you. Bust that bunky meat to the side and all that meat feel like a meat popsicle on that thing in it.
Are
Whew.
you serious? Listen, when you take that swimmer, my favorite thing to do is to take the swimmer and get real close to the shell and twist it, and the whole meat just
Mhm.
come out just like a lollipop. That's
You
the
can
favorite.
almost take both of the leg and do them.
Yeah, man. It's all connected. If you just take them legs and twist it to the body, every single one of them will come out like that. Chris, quit shaking your head like that, boy. You're making me hungry.
Man, listen, I'm about to start swimming for crab. Tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting.
There
So
right or wrong way, like once you catch the crab to like prepare them, because I know when our comrades had kind of murdered a crab one day on live.
and I mean, you saying, hey, look here, don't judge me. It ain't the first time it happened, you know. I see my man on a YouTube video. Somebody say slice him up the same way. He was good. Hey, listen, I call him top heavy crab. I
Yeah.
like
Oh,
top heavy.
I remember that was cold blooded. You took that crap out. You took them out cold blooded. They're in really, they're in really. I mean, I don't really know what to say about a proper way. Just make sure that crab's cleaned all the way. Or cooked all the way. Really, really the proper way. And it's all preference to each his own. A lot of people, when they come here, I start telling them about how we do the boil, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm from up north. We're gonna steam them," you know. So it's really just kind of preference, what you like. Um, I like to clean them for them now because I know for sure that they're going home and not getting sick with the crabs that I just gave them, you know.
Right, right.
Right. Okay.
But I mean,
How you do your crab? How you do your crabbing with Tia?
how I do mine? Well, man, it depends. Depends on what I'm doing. Am I doing crab cakes? Am I doing crab balls? Am I just doing tiny little breakfast crab patties? Am I doing the whole crab? I got something different for every single one. Every single one for sure. I honestly I like to do crab cakes a lot. I do.
Love me some crab cake.
Man, it ain't nothing like it, dude. You get your good old crab cake. You put that over some grits. You can make a sandwich out of it. I mean,
Listen.
mm.
Okay, I'm about to come to your house for breakfast. Listen.
We can do the whole thing.
Hey, we got a question from Joy Brown. He
Oh,
said,
what's up, Joey?
"What's the biggest crab you've caught, and which tastes better, big or smaller?"
Oh man, that's a good one. Biggest crab we ever caught was just over 9 inches. I think the record is 10.72, but we caught this 9 inch Jimmy at Brittlebank Park. Actually, Art pulled it up in the basket, and he had his back turned to me, and he pulled this basket up, and he goes, "Hey Tia, I win." And I turn around, and in this basket is this crab, and his arms can't even fit in the basket the whole way. He said he won, but 9 inches. The big ones will taste good. They all taste good, honestly. The smaller ones, you fight a little harder for the meat. I think it's easier to get the meat out of the bigger ones. You know, their rib cages and everything are just a little bit bigger, so it's easier for me to get all the meat out of there. But they all taste good. 5 inches and up, they delicious.
Yes. See if you got to season them right, Joy Brown. You got to season
Yeah,
them
I'm
right.
about that season.
Gotta be the
You got
seasonings.
to season them right.
And it's got to be the butter too. Now, the butter is key.
Even though we already know the answer to this, but this I guess is for everybody. Ricky Smalls asked, "Does Miss Clark own a restaurant?"
I do not own a restaurant. I worked in the restaurant business for 19 years, so I'm out of the restaurant
You
business.
ain't going back.
Nah, I don't see it right
She
now.
said
You know,
down on that. I mean, is it
maybe
even
one
a good
day.
time to open up a restaurant while this corona? Unless you're doing takeout.
Yeah. I'm enjoying what I do, man. Like I said, I was moved by somebody taking me to the water, so I like taking other people to the water and kind of giving them that experience. You know, it was so powerful for me that I seriously try to replicate that every single time I take somebody crabbing. I go out to the dock a little bit earlier than they're getting there. I set the dock up the same way that I would if it was just going to be me crabbing. And then every day, some different person from somewhere in the world shows up and we go crabbing. But if I can do that, then I'm keeping that. I'm keeping that real. You know, like I want them to have that same experience. I was moved by that. You know, to where I
Right.
changed my life. I don't drink. I don't smoke anymore. I mean, I literally put down the bottle and cigarettes and picked up the blue crab. I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life. You know,
So I got another one for you, and I think a lot of people need this clarified. Do you go to different areas to get Dungeness crab versus blue crab?
absolutely. Dungeness crab is on the west coast. We are on the east coast, so we have the Atlantic blue crab here. When you get out to the Pacific, is where you're gonna catch those Dungeness crabs. I actually did that when Airbnb took me out to San Francisco to be one of the top four. I told you I'd never stayed in an Airbnb and I'd never taken an Airbnb experience. So I'm like one of the top four Airbnb experiences, but I've never really experienced it. So when we were out there, I started looking up what they had. And no joke, there was a guy, a local guy, taking people crabbing from a pier. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is exactly what I'm doing on the West Coast. So he didn't have any days open. And I messaged him and told him what I did. I was like, listen, I'm East Coast, you West Coast. Let's take me crabbing. And he actually added a day and took me crabbing out there. And
Nice.
it was bananas. Do you know how they catch Dungeness crabs out there?
How you catch the Dun? I like Dungeness now. How you catch?
Fishing poles with a fishing pole. When we get a crab on our fishing pole, we're like, oh man, I was trying to get, like the crab already ate the shrimp or something.
Right.
They on purpose take these huge fishing poles when they're at these tall piers, and they have these little boxes called snares, and they have these little loops on the end of it, and you pass this thing out, and your bait is in the middle of the snare. So you put like squid or whatever in the middle of this little box, and you put it,
What?
cast it out, it hits the bottom, and you hope that a crab is coming and sitting on the top of your snare. And when you got a crab there, you just pull up on the fishing pole and it closes the little strings around their legs. It is the most complicated, crazy thing I've ever seen in my life. We go out to the dock and I can catch a dozen crabs in less than an hour. We were out
Yeah.
on the dock, there were probably 50 people out there, and we probably saw 4 crabs caught in 2 hours. I was like, this ain't for me. This ain't,
Good work right there. Bye bye.
this
Bag of
like this ain't mine. This ain't for me. But you know me, I got the love for the blue. So no matter what they get me out there, I'm still coming back from a blue crab.
straight up. Straight up. So you can't leave the East Coast to you. You know that.
Oh, you know it. I ain't going nowhere.
All right. And I also want to know this by Daniel Brush. How many times you done been pinched? I got pinched. I got pinched once. Yeah, got pinched
Oh, I
once.
can see that. You still got a
That's
scar.
kind of deep.
I've been pinched maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 times. Not as much as people think. Listen, I know how the crab move now. We can dance. Me and Art trading crabs now. Like clapping along. We had I'm doing everything now. But Art got pinched the other day, so we still get pinched every now and then. Sometimes, every crab got to have their day too. So and we be taking their cousins out the water coming for us. Not as much as people think, though. Not as much as people think.
You ever been crabbing in Savannah, Georgia?
I have not, but I really want to go crabbing in Savannah, Georgia. I know that they have very large blue crabs there because I've seen them, but I was just there on a visit and I thought, oh, I'm gonna come back here with my gear and really put it on these crabs. But I've seen them, I have not. Do they want to invite me to Savannah, Georgia? They got a good spot for me to come?
King Simon, are you inviting to Savannah, Georgia to catch some
If you,
jumbo jimmies?
that's right. If you got a secret spot, I'm on it. Just message me. I got you.
See that now? See now, Tia. Now you say secret spot now.
No, I don't want. That's why I won't go to the secret spot.
You like secret? I like secret spots too now.
Yeah, I won't tell
You,
That's
you,
nobody.
all the crab be at.
I won't even take no pictures.
you ever been crabbing with the boots on? You know, like you got to walk in the water and catch them with the net. You
Oh
ever
yeah,
did that?
I've done that. Yeah, I've done that. I One of the best days I had was out on an island one time with a buddy of mine, and really I just had my basic old rain boots on, and we went in this real shallow water, and the water was probably up right over my ankle, and we were walking in this water, and all we took was a bucket and a net, and within 45 minutes that bucket was full. We were walking in really shallow water with a bucket and a net, and all of a sudden
What?
you see the crab move, and I go, oh, there's one, and you scoop them. Then you see another one dart on the left, you scoop that one up too. No bait, no nothing. A bucket, a net, Chris.
He's really with the fishes.
It was like that
Go
was
crabbing on Mosquito Beach. Them
was
boys seem like they have a bunch of crabs. Cause people, I don't really see nobody out there crabbing when I go by there.
where?
Mosquito Beach.
Mosquito Beach.
Oh man, dude, they got big crabs there. I would love to go back there. I went there once. I did a an event with Earth Heart Growers where we took some kids they cleaned up the marsh. They and I taught them how to crab.
Wow.
It was a restaurant. I don't think it's open anymore, like Island Breeze or Island Delight out there. We
Uh,
we caught over 2 dozen crabs and then took it to the restaurant and they cooked the crab for the kids. In like 3 hours, these kids cleaned up the marsh, they did some gardening, they did some crabbing, and then they ate it and they took them back to school. It was like an outdoor class.
I'm sure I've been happy. I would have been happy.
It was awesome. It was really
That's a field trip right there. And I knew they ain't gonna Fort Sumter. They like taking us to Fort Sumter now, but that
mosquito.
would have been a dope field trip.
Also, they got big girl crabs out there. I told you, the closer you are to high salt, and that's so close to the beach, big, giant female crabs out there. Big,
Ooh, Tia, I got a good question because I always wondered this. Wasn't quite sure, but I always wondered by Valerie Bringman.
okay.
I know you don't drink anymore, and that's cool. But my uncle used to season his crabs, and he would always put 1 can of beer in it. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, and I still do that as well too.
What?
That's just an old school way of crabbing here. Hey, my aunt used to drink Schaefer back in the day. You know that beer, Schaefer?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
age, but they'd always run to the fridge and grab a can of Schaefer or Bush and put it in the pot of crabs. That's the old traditional thing that people have done here. A lot of people they say different reasons why they do that. A lot of them say, "Oh, it just helps with the flavor. It takes that salt flavor out, or something like that." So, like I said, it's preference, and people will tell you different reasons why they do it. I do it because we've always done it in my family, and I like
Right.
exactly the way I grew up eating crab. So that's what.
Always seen that. Take the
That's
Heineken. I done seen Heineken, Budweiser, all kind of beer go up in the crab pot.
I always hear the cheaper the beer, the better. I don't know why, but they say nice
Mm.
cheap beer work good. I don't know why, but I do it.
So this one from me right here now. It's a video that's going on. It was online. I don't know when it came out, but this lady had put all when she made her crab boil. You know, with the sergeant potato, everything, right? She
Mm-hmm.
put everything in the pot at the same time. Is that the right way to do
Mm.
Oh,
that?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. She must have been friends with that lady that had that brown bag. Remember the other lady that was trying to cook it and all the crabs bust over the sink?
Yes.
That's not the way that you do it at all. Um, if anybody cooks, the crabs only take about maybe like 12 to 15 minutes in the pot. Potatoes, corn, all that stuff first, then your sausage, then your crabs. Put your shrimp in for two. I always say put the shrimp in the pot, set a timer for 2 minutes. If you got Siri, tell her to do that. And when that timer goes off, take everything off the stove, dump it out on the table, strain it, and dump it out. If you cook your
Hey,
shrimp boil for more than 2 minutes, you done overcooked it.
you just by you telling the audience that you just enriched like 100 family experiences.
Absolutely. Don't throw everything in it because I mean you do that, the potatoes ain't done right, like you
Mm.
Like mashed potatoes.
yeah. It's just layer it. Just layer it out. But the crabs and shrimp last, seafood last, everything else first.
So Bradley, I can't say that first name, but I ain't gonna lie. Bradley, I want to destroy it. Are you
I think it's Jackie.
doing Jackie? There you go. Thank you so much. Any tours with the Rona going on? Any tours with the Rona?
I am hosting. I took off when the platform paused in March. I took March and April off, and I started back hosting again in May. So I'm doing no more than 6 people if it is a mixed group, and anything over 6 has to be one group, like one family altogether. But we are absolutely still hosting wide open. We're outside. There's viruses. There's a risk every single way that you go. But when we're outside, we have enough space that we can actually set all our gear 6 feet apart. We have tons of sanitizer. We have EPA approved hand soap with freshwater access, real bathrooms. So we're actually able to provide a safe environment for everybody to come up there and grab.
That's good. So that's still like a full experience. Then you good to go.
Oh
Bring
yeah,
your little, bring your gator mask and all your other masks and all that stuff, and get right.
everybody mask up and come on out, and we still crabbing. Still taking them.
Man, I want crab. I want crab again to you.
Come on, you
I
will.
want to go on a boat.
Hey.
Hey,
Oh,
if John Fuss is watching this, I tell him right now to go ahead and set us up on the boat so we can come
set
on.
the
For real, as
board
long as
out,
he got them
man.
adult floaties, they good. They good
Uh,
to go.
Adult floating, we got you into it. It's the best. Well, I'm like, we ain't getting in the water to go fishing. You know that, right?
So since we done talk about all these different type of ways to crab and everything, right? Which one would you say is the best? The one where you get to walk in with your rain boots, the one where you straight off the dock, or on the water?
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like the
honestly,
water be better.
that's a hard question for me. Um, the baskets are the easiest. I like a little more difficulty to it. So I like for it to really be a challenge. When you're doing the hand lines, it's a dance, like you go too fast, the crab lets go. You got the
Mhm.
easy. I honestly will say the hand lines because when I'm doing that, I'm like stiff. I'm controlling my breathing. I'm nice and easy. It's like I got you. It's all technique. You can.
Crab yoga.
That's right. I like that.
Ooh, I like
Crab
that.
yoga.
Crab yoga. Them boy got goat yoga. Why we can't have crab yoga?
Oh, you know what? Hey, check this out. Somebody, Ricky Smalls has said this. I hear people talking trash about like, oh, y'all doing that now? We ain't never used to do that. Are eggs a must with a crab boil?
Like like an egg that you would eat with breakfast.
Yeah, like an egg. Well, you boil an egg and put them with the pan.
I'm out. I'm out. Why I need eggs?
Egg, it turned into a must for me. I think after I started eating them plates from people that make the plates and whatnot, they'll throw the egg in there with all the sauce all over it and everything. And so now it's almost like a must for me.
It
If we got
depends on
sauce,
what you like.
And I mean, I
I
get
keep my egg out.
oh,
the optional side.
Yeah, I mean, like that's gonna be preference again, right there. I personally ain't gonna have no egg in my crab. That's just me. You know, I gotta drop it later. That's what I tell people.
You
No,
see them boy putting barbecue sauce on they crab?
I saw that too, and that's
That tastes good too, you know.
control. That is out of control. No, Chris, you did
You kicked out the crab cracker.
no.
Bison, y'all boy, listen, y'all bring barbecue sauce to the
No,
crab cracker. You was kicked out. I don't care
Save
if you
that
pay for a
barbecue
ticket. You
sauce.
done.
Save that
I gotta
barbecue
go
sauce
back to the
on my
side.
ribs, my wings. That I'll have barbecue sauce on that, not on my.
Man,
I had a Cajun tell me that. That might be a Cajun thing. I had this dude who was from Louisiana tell me that he used to make barbecue crabs. I don't know nothing.
I never had no barbecue crab now, but I use sauce on crab
They have some
meat.
curry crab though. Them same the Trinidad restaurant tell you about. Them boy had them boy, you know them boy have you in the curry. Them boy had some curry crab and that thing been bust, son. Like that. That
Curry?
was good.
That sounds good. Now that does
Yes,
sound
that
good.
thing been good.
I
That thing
tried
been
that.
on point.
I'm sure at least 100 people out here gonna go crabbing with you, Tia. So somebody Diana X KD just asked a question. She said, how many do you typically catch on your tours?
Probably at least a dozen. I can't guarantee the catch. I wish I could say you can come out and catch 2 dozen, but like I said, there's a lot of things that it's based on. It's based on the tides, based on if a bunch of fresh water got pushed in with a bunch of rain the day before. Um,
Right.
we usually catch about a dozen. Like I said, we're crabbing multiple ways. We crab at least 3 different ways. Then we throw the cast net, we catch live bait, then we put that on the fishing pole, and then we get some fishing. So I mean, on a typical day, 2 weeks ago, we had a guest come out. They caught a 17-inch, 19-inch trout, and then they took 17 crabs. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
I know. So I'm like, you never know. I didn't expect those trout showed up at the end, but it's like you just never
So
know.
so you catch crab in the cast net?
Yeah, I mean, you can if you go like the water needs to be shallow and you need to see them so you can target them. Any other time you throw it in the cast net and I catch them, it's completely lucky. But I have absolutely caught crabs in the cast net, but not on purpose. I don't target crabs with my cast net because, for one, they put a crab in the cast net, they're gonna rip up your braille lines, they're gonna tear up your net.
That
Yeah,
sounds like a lot of work. If you want to fight them
yeah,
crab after that.
yeah. I use my net just really throwing that cast net is how I always tell people that's really why I host this experience. I loved crabbing, I loved fishing, but when my cousin taught me how to throw the cast net, it was lights out. He gave me something that I didn't need bait for. All I do is perfect my toss, and the better I get this net open, and the more distance it covers. There's so much life in the water around us. So you throw these nets, and then you can just capture any life that's happened to be swimming by in the time for whatever fit, however big your net is. And a lot of times, like I said, you catch spinner, you catch fish, you catch shrimp and stuff like that. But throwing that cast net helped me build this bond with the salt water that nobody can take away from me. So the cast net is probably the
Is there
most
any,
therapeutic.
is there any like safety tips you want to give to people? Because I know some people be getting hurt. Some people even be getting killed when they be out there crabbing. So is any like
What
any
it
safety tips?
I would say don't be in a rush to do anything. Take your time. Usually when you rush is when you make a mistake. You're near water. Be very aware of your surroundings. Um, and other than that, I've never really heard anybody getting hurt out there crabbing unless they're on a boat. If you're on a boat, that's when
Yeah, it was one person I forgot his name. Rest in peace to him. When we was playing the
all the
crab
guys
hack last
passed
year,
away.
somebody was killed. They say he was out there
Yeah,
crabbing. They didn't really give any details about what happened. They just say he was crabbing and
yeah.
he never came back.
He was on the boat by himself, and obviously it sounded like some type of accident. But those commercial crabbers, they're using devices called like winches. So that's a motorized thing that you just put your line in and it pulls this
And then
huge
pull it up.
up. Um, who knows what could have happened that day out there? But crab, what my experience is land based. There are no boats. Everything we're doing is from the shore or from a dock. So you're not getting wet unless you get a little wet from the cast net when you throw it. But we're not getting in the water, and we're not going in a boat on the water. So for us, it's really just being aware of your surroundings. For other people, same thing. Be aware of where you are, where your gear is. You're not tripping over lines. The other people that are around you, and really just being alert of your surroundings. I feel like.
this is something though, like you can do in your own, unless you're out on a boat. I feel like don't go alone. But if you like on the land, this is an activity you can do in your own.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that's what I used to do when I first started crabbing. And I mean, like, I laugh now, but I used to call people every day and try to talk them into coming crabbing with me. But most of the time, I was just crabbing by myself, you know.
I'm gonna catch it. I'm like, hey, I go crabbing with you.
Man, man,
and, and you know,
asking the wife, hey man, come on, man, to come on.
I'm telling you, I used to be like, "Come on, let's go crabbing." They were like, "Oh, not today. It's hot," you know, like whatever excuse. Because I go out when it's hot. It don't matter to me. Don't matter at
Hey,
all.
Tia,
Yeah.
Daniel Breskin, what's your second favorite ocean creature to catch?
Oh, Daniel, that's a great question, and I think he knows what that is. Daniel Brush is the man. We catch sharks with Carolina Shark Conservancy.
Y'all be eating
Uh,
them? Y'all make some shark steak?
hey, no, we don't kill them. We catch them and we tag them and release them for DNR and for NOAA with the Apex Predator project. But catching sharks is easily my second favorite thing to come out of the water. I working with Daniel honestly over the last year or so, like I've grown such an appreciation for sharks, for those creatures. I grew up. My grandma used to make us shark steak over like grits and stuff in the morning. When I
Mm,
started catching and tagging them, I haven't eaten shark. I mean, I haven't eaten shark in a long time, but I don't know how I would again. You know. I love those animals. I love everybody I've met on this journey. You know, the transition of going from food and beverage to now in this water world, which I'm like working with tours and different people. It has been fantastic. I've met some amazing people here that are doing incredible stuff in our community. And, you know, I'm trying my hardest to get crabbing in there and also to be a force in our community as well with trying to protect our resources, not just taking them.
wow. Miss Dawn Bates has said, did we learn this tradition of crabbing from our West African ancestors?
Oh, I
If we
imagine.
help with that with a little bit, right?
I
Did we?
imagine there's so much we took from them. You know, I would be really hard to say that that's not the case. You know, that's everything that we have to credit for is our ancestors. You know, every single thing that we do is because they set up for us. Um,
Facts. And then even thinking like some of these bridges not even of like 50 years old. So like before they built these bridges on the island, we had no choice really but to go out there and get some crab. We
Absolutely,
can't leave
absolutely.
the island.
Dude, they used to make their own nets. I'm telling you, like they used to make their own nets out there on them sea islands. Like that
Just
is
crab.
that's absolutely where we get it from. But think about it. You got to make good with what you do. You know what I mean? You see them crabs there, you know what's in the water. You can do what you got to do to get it out to feed your family. I mean, that's that hustle that's in us, and that's what everybody before us done. That's why we do it like this.
Thanks. So and I know this is up for debate, but what's the best season to use to you?
Oh boy, that's a hard one there. That's a hard one there. What's the best seasoning I use? Man, that's hard. Well, I will tell you. I hope they're watching this. You know, I gotta put that Old Bay on there now. I ride hard with the Old Bay, but if I don't get that Old Bay, I definitely go to the crab spot and get one of them homemade garlic ones they use. Cause
Yeah.
support that. Um, but really, it's Old Bay, hot sauce, garlic, onion powder. I mean, it's all the basics. Seriously, I can go to anybody else, open their cupboard, and as long as I brought my Old Bay, I can season it up with everything else they got in there. You know,
That's a wrap.
yeah, that's it for
I
sure.
love the seasoning blends from the markets and stuff like that.
It's so good. They
It's
so good.
good. It's like an all-in-one kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Now I prefer that over Old Bay now, but you know I don't really go. I catch all the crab myself, so I don't really be going to them shops no more. You know.
Let me
But
tell you something. Art has, huh?
art has spoken, huh?
Art-
All right, they ain't from Tennessee. I ain't even look it up. Is that company from Tennessee? Because that might be why he said that. I don't know.
Ooh, big.
Old Bay.
But yeah, man, everybody on here just showing love, man, to you. Them boys say you're inspiring. You
Oh
know, Art on here showing all the love and everything. But
man.
everybody, I'm thinking it's starting to sound like it. People gonna start hitting you up
Come on.
to check out the same thing that we had an opportunity to check out.
Hey
And
man.
Y'all boy, get ready, man. She gonna
hey,
get you
my
up
life,
there.
man.
I hope they
We gonna
do,
keep
man.
on going crabbing.
I appreciate the support from everybody. Honestly, like I wouldn't be here where I was without like you know I was working at Park Circle, so the Park Circle community absolutely lifted me up and helped me follow this dream. And just the support from my hometown and everybody else. I'm gonna keep pushing as hard as I can. I'm gonna see if I can crab with everybody, go catch all the crabs, and try to just represent for the Chuck, just like I do for the 843.
Tia, this the last question I can bombard you with. All right.
All right.
Carmen Clark, Tia, do you have any suggestions for keeping our waterways clean to protect our crabs and other marine life?
Absolutely. Follow Charleston Water Keepers and support them. Follow the Good Catch program from the South Carolina Aquarium and take advantage of the Department of Natural Resources. Everyone, when they hear DNR, they get scared. They think cops, people that's coming to get you. DNR is actually a facility that we pay for our tax money. And if you stop and you go to the Department of Natural Resources, they will stop working to give you a tour, to answer questions, to help you. So the DNR ain't the bad guy. They're the ones that are actually out there working all those rules and laws that everybody's breaking when they take them small crabs. All that stuff is to protect our resources and our waterways. So I would absolutely say follow all of these local people like Charleston Water Keepers, who does amazing stuff. They give weekly updates on our water. They go and test the water, and those companies are run by volunteers, and most of them are people that ain't really from here. So we're the ones that need to really be trying to protect our waterways. We got other visitors coming here, volunteering their time to do it. Um,
Right.
that would be my suggestion for sure. That's what I
Yeah,
do.
Charleston Waterways. What
Charleston,
was the other one?
Charleston Water Keepers, the Good Catch Sustainability Program with the South Carolina Aquarium and the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources.
Follow them boy,
Wow.
y'all. So we gotta protect our own water because good and well, if them blue crab disappears from Charleston, y'all gonna have a heart attack.
They gonna
Yeah.
have big,
Yeah.
big mad over that.
Beat just now when you had to say that. I tell you, boy. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Here it is, folks. You heard it first from Tia Clark, also known as Crabbing with Tia. That's what we call her. That's her name.
Hey, that's it.
Crabbing with Tia. Straight up.
See,
I love it. I love y'all. Thank y'all for the support, man. I
Hey
appreciate
you
it.
for
man.
hopping on with us, man. This
I
is
can't
y'all
wait to
boy.
get on
Make
this
sure y'all
water.
go ahead. Visit her website. Y'all want book her. She done tell y'all boy what to do now. Don't just ring him out. Go ahead.
That's right. Casual
The
crowd.
experience. Taught
Oh,
y'all how to
boy,
cook them and
boy.
all.
That's the
Yes,
website right there, y'all boy.
that's
That's the website right there. And,
it.
and you heard it from Art, man. Art, when he say it, it's done. Go ahead
Hey,
and get up.
art's a trip. Hey, that's my dude, man. That's my dude. We gonna do this thing, Art. We about to take them all crabbing. We ready.
Mm. Cool. You want to close them boy out, baby?
That's it, y'all boy. We can see y'all boy not next Sunday, but next Sunday we gonna have a new guest. But for right now, this one was all about crabbing with Tia. She taught y'all boy, man, how crabbing really saved her life. So when y'all eating the crab, also think about how therapeutic the crab can be. So if you ain't been in the gym, can't hit it because of Corona, you can hit the duck.
That's
You
right.
know.
That is right.
Until next time, y'all boy. Peace.
Thank you.
Yeah, child.
We out here.
Bad.